Welcome to Wisdom Woman podcast. I believe that is in constant change and growth, not in perfection, that we find happiness. In this podcast, I'm going to be talking with top performance professionals about tools, techniques, new ideas on how to develop your communication skills, use your creative thinking, be a team player, manage your tasks like a pro, be motivated, become an expert on relationships, and a problem solver. Everything you need to be 5 stars in all areas of your life. My intention is to help you develop your skills and find balance between your professional and personal life. My name is Betina Pflug, and I hope I can be your trusted advisor. Welcome, wonderful listeners, to another enlightening episode of Wisdom Woman, where we delve into remarkable stories and insights of inspiring individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Betina Pflug, and an expat coach dedicated to helping you achieve balance, effectiveness, and joy in your life abroad. Today, we have a truly exceptional guest who has embraced and implemented life-changing strategies from the book Sleep Smarter from Shawn Stevenson. When I coach my clients, I always like to lead by example. So before recommending a book to any of my clients, I always read it first, implement some useful things in my life, and then I recommend it. In this case, it was different. I recommended a book to Vivian to help her create a morning routine and an evening routine. And after devouring that book, she said, I found another one that complements everything I learned from the Miracle Morning. And it's called Sleep Smarter. Because I have this rule of leading by example, I hurried to read this book and follow her led to implement the tips that the author provides on the book. It really changed my life, and now this book is one of my regular recommendations to my coaching clients on the path of self-growth. At the same time, Vivian was doing a great job implementing the learnings from the book that she was reading. And I decided to invite her to share with all of you the benefits of creating a morning and evening routine. And we're going to delve into the concepts learned from the book Sleep Smarter. So stay tuned. As I mentioned to you, our guest today is Vivian Pflug. Vivian is a successful food professional in the fast-moving consumer goods sectors in UK. She's passionate about all natural things, enthusiastic and dedicated student, practitioner, and a tutor at the School of Philosophy and Economic Science. With a career spanning over 17 years in the food industry, Vivian has worked across professional cooking, manufacturing, and wholesale. In the past decade, she has honored her skills in wild foods and traditional food preserving techniques. Her work was on waste reduction projects for corporate companies has significantly improved profitability, sustainability, and respect for the environment. Vivian has not only read Sleep Smarter, but also implemented almost every tip from the book into her life. So let's welcome Vivian Pflug to our show. Welcome, Vivian.
Thank you, Bettina. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really happy and thrilled.
So let's dive right in. For our listeners who might not be familiar, Sleep Smarter by Shawn Stevenson is a comprehensive guide that provides 21 essential strategies to improve your sleep. Vivian, can you tell us what initially drew you into the book and what impact it had on you?
Yeah, of course, Bettina. As someone deeply invested in health and natural living, I'm really passionate about this subject. I've always been aware of the importance of sleep. However, it wasn't until I stumbled upon Sleep Smarter that I actually realized just how many factors influence the quality of our sleep. Sleep is something that we quite often take for granted, and it's sometimes a given. So it wasn't really, on the top of my studying topics, but the book gave me a really revised view and holistic approach over the subject, which covers everything from nutrition and exercise to light exposure and the bedroom environment, especially which really resonated with me. Implementing the strategies has not only improved my sleep, but also, and most importantly, my overall well-being and productive. Has really been a book that changed my day to day and my life, really.
That's fascinating, Vivian. Changed my life too. So let's break down some of the key strategies from the book that you found particularly impactful. Could you start by telling us about the role of the light exposure in sleep quality?
Yeah, sure. One of the most eye-opening strategies from Sleep Smart is the concept of managing light exposure to regulate and work with our circadian rhythm. Shawn Stevenson explains how the exposure to natural light during the day, especially in the morning, helps to set out our internal clock. And then conversely, minimizing exposure to artificial light, especially in the evenings, and particularly blue light film screens, things that are quite often all around us, like TVs, our mobile phones, iPads, and so on. In the evening, reducing our contact to those devices is crucial for preparing our body and mind for a good night of sleep.
Yeah, a lot of people take their smartphones to the bed, and I don't even have a TV in my bedroom. How about you? How have you changed anything in your setup to make it happen? Also, the blackout curtains is a little bit hard.
Yeah,
What have you
this
done?
was a really interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting because my bedroom, I had the TV. Before going to sleep, I always used to love watching TV to help me fall asleep. I used to carry my phone to the bed and browse the internet just before going to bed and putting the mobile phone on my bedside. And the light, I never really had the blackout curtains, and I quite liked that in the morning, as soon as the sun rises, I had the fresh sunlight coming through the bedroom. And living in the UK, it can get up in the morning. The sun can rise as early as 4 a.m., depending on the time of the year where you are. And without really knowing how much actually this was impacting my sleep, I wasn't sleeping really well, and I didn't really know why until I actually started monitoring my sleep and learning, all the tips I've learned and came across in this book. So from then knowing that, especially our skin, we absorb and our body understands that that is light and that in an extent disturb our sleep. So I then bought blackout curtains. I removed the TV. I removed any device from my bedroom that emits or release even a Bluetooth wave. So anything that is an electronic device now is not allowed in the bedroom. And even my husband, took him a while to come to an agreement with me, but we've managed to have a disagreement that the bedroom is really a sanctuary. It is really a place where we prepare our mind and body for a great sleep. And nowadays, this bedroom is treated with the utmost respect, and a place where we can really, regenerate ourselves during the night and really rebuild our body. So it's yeah, it has been really, really great to make those changes. They are quite automatic. I'm someone who is quite pragmatic and practical. If I think that something is not good, it's not doing great for my body, or is harming me in some way or another, I'm very quick to implement. And I've implemented this was actually the first thing I've implemented: clear and declutter my bedroom. It was, and the effects were really, really positive. I almost immediately felt how much better I was sleeping and how much more energized I was in the morning.
Yeah, the hardest part I think is to convince our spouses to jump in, isn't it? For myself was that part of cooling the bedroom. And I always leave now a little bit of the fans open, and it's really cold here in Australia, in Melbourne right now. So my husband is always complaining, why you keep this window open? I said, it's healthy. We're going to sleep better. How was it for you to convince your spouse to join into this journey of changing everything?
Yeah, in the beginning, it is about, of course, explaining the reasons why we are doing something. Because as long as we know the why, it is much easier to then have a call to action and comply. But it was about, basically explaining to him the reasons, making him understand that it was for both of us benefit, and the why we were doing. So then it became just an agreement rather than having multiple expectations. Me expecting him to abide by a certain rule that I've created. I've actually agreed with him why we were doing something, the benefits, and the both of us really bought into it. And then nowadays he is one of those who say, why are you bringing your phones to the room? Because I may have forgotten to leave it downstairs. So we are both now very vigilant and complying and policing each other, which is really nice. So yeah, really really glad that we've both bought into this new routine, which is nothing but better for us.
Yeah, it's incredible how much small changes can have such profound impact in our lives. Another critical aspect that he discussed the importance of creating a sleep-friendly environment. How did you go about optimizing your bedroom for a better sleep?
Yes, so creating a sleep-friendly environment was indeed transformative. So according to the book Sleep Smarter, our bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep, free from distractions and favorable for relaxation. I started by decluttering everything from the bedroom, from TV, from devices, from everything that was unnecessary, and creating a sense of more relaxing and feel good environment. I normally have plants, and those are filtering plants as well. They help to create life inside the room as well. And then next, I invested in blackout curtains to ensure that there was complete darkness and not the slightest amount of external light coming into the room that could potentially disrupt our sleep. I've also keep our windows open throughout the day in the bedroom to make sure that the air is refreshed and re-energized with new ions as well from the atmosphere. And I also make sure that our room is kept as cool as possible throughout the year. Of course, during the winter times is a lot easier, but as much as I can, and during the warmer days, keeping refreshed, windows opened, and to really create an optimal temperature for sleeping. Because, as you know, in the book, our bodies they naturally reduce the body temperature at night, so it's very important that the room temperature is not going against the body to create that balance whilst we are sleeping. And
Yeah,
those were the main changes.
thank you. And the book mentioned that the ideal temperature for you to sleep is between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. So if you can adjust your room, that's a good thing. And we have also discussed at the beginning before we started recording here how much weight you lost since you started doing this. And it's incredible. This author, he's a nutritionist, and he noticed a correlation of his patients who was sleeping better could lose weight more efficiently. But the correlation is incredible. If you lose weight, you can sleep better. Can you explain what happened with you that you lost almost 4 kilos after you started reading the book?
Yes, it was quite impressive, Bettina, to lose so much weight without really doing much. So of course I've made all the right changes, and it was a combination of those strategies from the book that I started then implementing one by one. That combined, they created a more balanced hormonal system within my body. So few things that I've managed to change. So, for example, I used to go to bed at different times every single night. So now Instead, I make sure that I go to bed latest at 10:30, but my ideal target is go to bed at 10 p.m. I then finish eating 3 to 4 hours before going to bed to allow my body to, one, reduce and cool down in temperature, but as well to digest before I go to bed, so that whilst I'm sleeping, my body's not really fighting trying to digest the food. So then as I sleep, of course, I'm in this natural period of fasting. So those are great hours where your body is naturally fasting whilst regenerating. And then in the morning, the first thing I would do is drink at least a full glass of water. So that is the first thing that I put in my mouth that I never really used to do before. In fact, I never really thought that I could even drink water as the first thing in the morning. So then I have my morning routine. I do my cardio exercise in the morning, and this is why this is still fasting. The only thing I've put in my body was water. Then I finish my exercise. I have more water. So before I even have breakfast, I've had already about 600 ml of water. And then my breakfast is now quite comprehensive. It includes foods that are very free from fat. It's very, pro rich in prebiotics and probiotics, and I make sure that my first meal is very nutritious, rich in fiber, and with protein that will last throughout the day. Then I kind of avoid eating during lunchtime, and then my next meal will only be around dinner time, which is again a very nutritious and good quality food. And I make sure as well that every time after eating I go for a walk. So my morning walks and my evening walks, they also help the body to straight away start processing and that food, instead of just storing as fat. So all those small changes, they really made an impact in losing weight. So I'm still losing weight. At the moment, my weight is 59 and a half kilos. My target is now get to 58, which I think is my ideal body weight. And I'm achieving that without really doing much. It's all about being conscious and mindful of what I put in my body, the time when I put food and drink in my body, avoiding any overprocessed and foods that are not really good, full in carbohydrates, oils, and fats that we know those foods are not good for us. So making those changes, implementing good day-to-day routines all helped me to lose weight without really much effort. It's been great and effortless. An effortless practice, but with definite great results. So it's been really, really good. And I've always battled to lose weight for such a long time, going to the gym, working hard. Of course, I was going to the gym at the wrong times as well in the evenings, which was not helping, and eating healthy. And I thought, how can I still not lose as much weight? And still implementing those changes from the book, it was just a natural and easy process. Yes, really, really positive.
It's truly inspiring how you effectively use those strategies and they really work for you. Now, talking about something that's difficult for me is taking the shower 90 minutes before you go to sleep. A warm shower, it's good for you to relax, but it cannot be right before you go to sleep because, as Vivian was saying, we need to make our temperature drop. How do you manage to take the bath in the right timing? That's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I think, as with anything, as long as you create a routine, and becomes part of your day to day, and then it becomes a little bit easier. Of course, everyone will have a different lifestyle, different working times. So, everyone's life is different. But I'm always from the thinking that when you want to do something, when you want to achieve something, you always find a little bit of time. So nowadays, I prioritize my sleep. My sleep is definitely a priority in my life, and I know how important it is. For our own good health. If you don't sleep well, you cannot really have the body and the life that you want. So I've made those small changes and fixed a time where I actually go to bed. If I need to put a reminder, I have Alexa's devices in the house. So quite often I use Alexa as uh, one device to alert me, or I put in my calendar, go to take shower at this specific time or do this at this specific time. But the shower 90 minutes before, it helps the body to relax, the mind to calm. And again, it's part of that routine to prepare you for a good night of sleep. So yeah, I've made the efforts to set myself reminders and be more aware and conscious that having that shower, a warm, nice, and relaxing shower before bedtime is part of that routine of preparations to lead my body to a great night's sleep.
It's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I know you're a food specialist. Let's talk a little bit about food. I would love to know the correlation between the gut health food and also the caffeine. What are the recommendations to sleep better? What kind of food should we eat to sleep better?
Yeah, they say that our health is it starts from our gut, and our gut is in fact one of those areas of our body that actually sends signals to the brain, and then the brain will in reaction tell what parts of our body, of our hormones, needs to do what. And having and fixing your gut is critical for a good night of sleep. So I've always been very aware and conscious of the foods I eat, but since reading the book, I've then decided to take a step further and really eliminate everything that I needed to eliminate that was not, vital for the health of my gut. So, things such as having a biscuit here and there, or having, a little bit of butter, a little bit more butter than I needed. So I started to remove things that were a little bit richer in carbohydrates and bad fats, and replacing that with more prebiotic and probiotic foods. I've added a lot more of polyphenols into my diet, and that comes a lot, especially from good quality olive oil. I make sure that olive oil it's always present in my food. I drizzle my bread in the morning with a little bit of olive oil. Then in my dinner, or if I'm having lunch on that particular day, I make sure that I add olive oil into my food as well. And then there is always a good balance and amount of fiber and protein and vitamin D. And those foods, they are very easy. We're not talking about foods that are out of reach. They're very really easy to find and implement. Things like probiotic foods. They are like sauerkraut, kefir. Kefir is like one thing that I've actually replaced the caffeine for. In the morning, I always used to have like a cup of coffee with a plant-based milk. I always reduce a little bit, my dairy intake. But then caffeine, I know it takes about 3 full days to leave your body, and it has a life cycle of 50%. So if you start ingesting 100 grams of coffee, it will take, 50% of the time to reduce that coffee. So it starts reducing. It's a half life cycle each time, taking up about 3 full days to leave your body. So caffeine is something that I completely removed and I don't miss at all. I used to have as the first thing in the morning to give me that morning energy that I so much needed, but now I've replaced that with kefir, and then I have a slice of bread. I started adding a wild salmon. Wild salmon is really rich in protein as well, and essential omega 3 fatty oils, which are great for for the gut. And then, of course, in combination with other prebiotics food, I always have asparagus almost every day, and when it's in season. Lots of polyphenols, including berries and the olive oil, which I've mentioned. Lots of fiber, and fiber is all about those greens, those those whole grains are a big part of my breakfast as well. Always have a cup with goat yogurt, all sorts of berries and seeds that I add there to give me a really good start to the day. And then I balance, during my meals with protein and adding vitamin D. I really need to supplement my diet. Nowadays, I supplement my diet much less because the foods that I eat are so much richer in nutrients and minerals that I need much less supplements in my diet. And it's small changes, like even that I didn't even realize, like the water that we drink. Tap water is one of the worst waters that we can put into our body. It has chlorine, and chlorine is full of, it's almost like it's killing all your good bacteria because it's there to remove any impurities from the water. So by drinking tap water every day, you're not doing your gut good bacteria any favor. Instead, you are killing them instead. So what I now drink nowadays is a good quality spring water, which is full in minerals and very natural, well, naturally processed, and changing the quality of salt that I have in my diet as well. Table salt is not really the best salt, so nowadays I've replaced that with raw, unprocessed, and good quality salts. I have about 5 different salts in my house that I use for different types of cooking, and all of this enriched my gut bacteria. The more varied your diet, the better you feed in your gut good bacteria and not giving the bad bacteria the, the the source of food that they need to thrive. So those changes were really really important to get a better gut health and therefore leading me to feel more energized throughout the day as well. I feel more alert, I feel smarter, I'm losing weight, I feel better with myself, I have the right energy at the right time of the day, and combine that with a good night of sleep and as well with exercise. It has really been transformative, Bettina. What I like about this book is that I'm a very fan and a naturalist enthusiast. And this book is all about bringing us to natural, bringing us to our most natural state, is what our genes expect, is not hard, is us being natural. And the tips here are so practical and easy. And the gut was, yeah, a really, really nice and easy change that was very noticeable in how I feel and how I am during the day.
Wow, impressive things you did. For myself, it was really hard getting rid of the caffeine because I used to have an energizer before going to the gym. But now I have from a nutritionist 2 recipes of really natural energizers I can take to the gym. I will read the recipes for you if you want. The first one, we put 40 grams of beets with 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a dash of black pepper. The second recipe that I like a lot is 3 milliliters of watermelon juice, 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. It's delicious and really, really makes the same effect as an energizer, and it's natural. That's why I love it.
That is great. You need to pass me this recipe. I love it.
Yeah, I can put on the description of the podcast here. And
Excellent.
incorporating mindfulness into our routine can truly make a really difference. And I know you started doing meditation. Can you share with us how important it was and what kind of strategy you adopted to implement this mindfulness to calm down your mind? How have you done that?
Yeah. Mindfulness and meditation have been instrumental in winding me down, especially my mind before bed. I used to go to bed having millions of thoughts before, and quite often waking up in the middle of the night and thinking about something that was not necessary to be thought at that very moment. But Sleep Smart highlights the importance of reducing stress and anxiety, which are common culprits of a poor sleep, and quite often, present on today's modern society, unfortunately. But by practicing mindfulness and meditation, I can then calm my mind down, reduce racing thoughts, and prepare my body for a really good rest. I typically spend about 10 to 15 minutes meditating before bed in a separate room. I don't use my bedroom as a meditating room. It's very important that the bedroom remains a place of rest. And then I focus on deep breathing and clearing my mind. The deep breathing exercise is really good. It really helps you to calm down and your mind as well. And this practice has not only improved my sleep, but also my overall mental well being has been really incredible and really, really life changing this as well. So, so good.
Thank you. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read now for all of you the 21 tips that he gives in the book, just to recap everyone who just joined us now. The first one is know the value of sleep. That's very important. The second, get more sunlight during the day. The third, avoid screen before bedtime. Four, have a caffeine cut curve free. Be cool as a temperature. That means reduce the temperature of your room. Get to the bed at the right time every time the same one if it's possible. Seven, fix your gut. Eight, create a sleep sanctuary in your room. Nine, have an orgasm if you can. That's a good one. 10, get it blacked out. That means use blackout curtains. 11, train hard but smart in the right timing. Get your electronics out of the room. 13, lose weight and don't find it again if possible. 14, go easy on the bottle. That means reduce also the drinking. 15, play your sleeping position. There are some ideal sleeping positions that we can cover, you can read on the book. 16, calm your image chatter. That's the meditation we're talking about. 17, use smart supplementation. And maybe, Vivian, you can mention a little bit about magnesium afterwards. 18, be an earlier riser. 19, use your body work that works. 20, dress for the occasion. That means light clothes before sleep, no bras. And 21st, get grounded. Put your bare feet on the ground. So those are the 21 tips that the author goes deep into the book. But as we wrap up here, Viviane, what would you say is the most significant change you've experienced since implementing these tips, and what haven't we covered yet?
Yes, so I think the most significant change has been the overall improvement in my energy levels and productive and well-being. Quality sleep is the foundation of good health, and by optimizing my sleep and taking those steps that are so wide, and touch so many points throughout my day, uh, by making those changes, I've been able to perform better at work, manage stress more effectively, and maintain a positive outlook on life. These changes have not only benefited, my sleep, but they also had a ripple effect in various aspects of my life. And I've even, last week I was reading the book again for the second time, and even decided to implement, extra tips that I actually missed on the first round when I read. So I actually forgot the importance of having magnesium in a day to day. I was taking magnesium as a supplement. I was having foods that are rich in magnesium, but knowing that magnesium absorption is better and more effective through the skin, I then bought myself a very natural and organic magnesium oil that is sourced from deep under the ground. And I am now spraying that on my skin to help me absorb magnesium, because magnesium is one of those minerals that, again, it helps and supports a good night of sleep and a balanced our hormonal system. So it's been every time reading the book, you come with you come across different tips and techniques and decide to implement them, just adding into to the routine. There is one routine that I do as well, and that I always took for granted, which is Irving. He mentioned in the book, and it is you going barefoot, like you've mentioned the last tip, going barefoot on the ground. So now when I do my morning walks and evening walks, after breakfast and after dinner, I have lovely fields around my house. So not only I'm walking at the right time, taking advantage of the morning sunlight, which also helps with, melatonin hormonal production, but as well, whilst I'm walking, I'm going barefoot on the ground, really feeling the ground, really exchanging my energy with earth, and enabling my body to be at its most natural state. We are as much as we are the universe. The universe is us, and we are in each other. So connecting myself with earth has not only benefited me energetically, but as well, how I connect to Mother Nature, and helping me to be, more natural and more, more what I'm actually supposed to be, what our genes expect, which is, being as natural as I can. But I think we've covered a lot of the strategies from the book. I've myself implemented, out of the 21 I've implemented, pretty much all of them. There is only one that I couldn't implement very effectively, which is, going to the gym at the exact, optimum time. I'm still working on that one, but everything else I've implemented. They were very easy to implement, but the contribution to my life and to those people around me as well has been beyond what money can buy. It has been really transformative, and I'm really grateful to have come across this book, and for Shawn Stevenson really to, have gone through what he's gone through in his life, and being, in the position to write a book that can make such an impactful and positive change in life by making small steps every day, day by day.
Thank you. It's really impressive. And as I mentioned to you, Viviana, you are one of my best coaching clients. You really are putting hard work to find the best version of yourself. I really admire everything you're doing. Maybe we can finish here by you talking about the impact of coaching in your life. Why do you think it was important, and what changes you see in yourself since you started coaching?
Yeah, coaching for me, Bettina, and I absolutely love working with you. I've told you this before, and how much coaching and working with you has transformed my life. I was going through a period. I'm on my 40s, so I'm in that natural cycle where you start questioning your purpose in life, what you should be doing next. And working with you and coaching, not only at a personal level, but at the professional level as well, has completely transformed. You put them in touch with resources like the Miracle Morning book that, one transformed my routines. Now I focus so much more on my own self-development. Is the first thing that I do in the day, and is the last thing that I do before I go to sleep, is about, how can I be the better me? How can I nurture my body and my well-being and my mindfulness and my connectedness to nature. So, you know, coaching has really transformed my life, the way I see, the way I think. It has improved my professional career, has improved my social relationships, my family relationships, my life with my husband relationship, and my spirituality as well. So all these five areas of makes, who we are as humans have been enhanced, nurtured, and now prioritized, which was something that I was really missing. And with your guidance, and implementing that every single day, every single week when we meet, is really transformative, because I think that, knowledge, you can get knowledge from anywhere. You can go to Google, you can speak to people, and, there are many different ways where you can get your source of knowledge, from books, from studying, and so on. But knowledge, it means nothing if you don't apply, if you don't incorporate into your routine, but if you don't share. So this is really so important. If you learn something, anything that is changing and will benefit you and those around you, so implement, make a step change to incorporate that into your routine. And this is exactly what I've done. I've taken the time and priority to incorporate everything into my routine. And I've made no excuses that I have no time, that I'm too busy. I created the time because it was important for me and to those who I love, who is around me. And it has been nothing but short of, great and fantastic experience. It's been transformative and is leading me, to great heights. I'm so grateful to you, Bettina, for every week when we meet. It's yeah, you really helped to get the best out of me, or perhaps find the best out of me, because we all
Yes.
humans, we are by nature, loving, happy, peaceful, and good. So you just helped me to rediscover that within myself, and anyone can do that. And I recommend coaching to absolutely everyone. Coaching with you is brilliant. I really enjoy, and I couldn't be in a better state, and in a, having finding the better me at the moment. So yeah, it's
I'm
great.
impressed with your journey, Vivian, your dedication, how much effort you put into finding this best version of yourself. Thank you so much for sharing today your journey, your insights. It's been a pleasure having you in my life. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode of Wisdom Woman. And remember, with the right resources and support, you can overcome any challenges and create your own success. If you've been moved by today's conversation and are eager to take your journey to the next level, I encourage you to schedule a one-on-one call with me. And you can find more information and a path to do this on my website, witchy.tech. And this website will be on the description of this podcast. So let's quick start your transformation journey today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your friends and families, and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, stay inspired, stay empowered, and always believe in your own success. This is Betina Pflug signing off. Thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you for listening to Wisdom Woman Podcast. To hear past and future episodes, please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast channel. We appreciate your reviews. To give us suggestions for future show topics, please write to us at podcast@witchy.tech. If you're interested in having me as your trusted advisor, schedule a strategic coaching session on my website, www.witchy.tech.